Greetings, citizens of the world. We are anonymous. Jeffrey Epstein was not simply a billionaire financier. He was not merely a predator. He was a blackmail artist, a facilitator, a tool used by intelligence agencies to compromise the most powerful men on Earth. And we believe he worked for Mossad. The US public has been deliberately misled. What the media calls a sex trafficking scandal was, in truth, a blackmail intelligence operation spanning decades, reaching into the highest levels of US politics, finance, and foreign policy. At the center of this network was Jeffrey Epstein, financier, convicted predator, and alleged asset of Israeli intelligence. The Department of Justice, the CIA, and the FBI would have you believe that the full extent of this story begins and ends with Epstein's death. But the files, the flight logs, the court records, and the social networks tell a much larger tale, one of espionage, elite complicity, and mass deception. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a matter of pattern recognition, supported by court documents, leaked logs, and investigative journalism. Here's what you were not supposed to see. Epstein's partner in crime, Ghislaine Maxwell, is the daughter of Robert Maxwell, a confirmed Israeli intelligence asset. Epstein surrounded himself with Israeli officials, including Ehud Barak, a former prime minister and chief of the IDF. Together, they funded Carbine, an Israeli surveillance firm, a digital panopticon, designed to monitor citizens in real time. Epstein was not just gathering women, he was gathering data, secrets, leverage. He was a honey trap operator, a middleman for intelligence services. According to Ari Ben-Menashe, a self-proclaimed former Israeli spy, Epstein was recruited to collect compromat, blackmail material on powerful men through sexual entrapment. He was gathering intelligence, sexual blackmail, for the Mossad, Ben-Menashe alleged in the book Epstein, Dead Men Tell No Tales. His partner, Ghislaine Maxwell, daughter of Robert Maxwell, a confirmed Mossad asset whose funeral was attended by 6 former heads of Israeli intelligence. Epstein's social reach included Ehud Barak, former Israeli prime minister, with whom he co-invested in the Israeli surveillance firm Carbine, a company that collects real-time geolocation and biometric data. Carbine's US partners include tech billionaires and Trump-aligned donors. This is not an accident. It's a pipeline of influence between US elites and Israeli intelligence networks, masked as business, cloaked in philanthropy, and hidden behind national security excuses. Donald Trump, the 45th president of the United States, once described Epstein as a terrific guy who likes beautiful women on the younger side. Flight logs, pilot depositions, and photographs show Trump and Epstein socializing repeatedly in the 1990s and early 2000s, at Mar-a-Lago, at private parties, on jets, and in Manhattan clubs. According to David Rogers, Epstein's pilot, Trump flew on Epstein's jet at least once in 1997, a trip from Palm Beach to Newark. There were claims from other Epstein associates that the number was closer to 8. The lawsuit, filed under the pseudonym Katie Johnson in 2016, later withdrawn under suspicious circumstances, accused both Epstein and Trump of rape at Epstein's Manhattan townhouse in 1994. While dismissed, the case raised troubling questions that the DOJ never pursued. Trump was not the only powerful figure in Epstein's black book, but he is the only one to later ascend to the US presidency. But this is not just about one man, or one president, or one spy agency. This is about the entire machine, the FBI, the CIA, and the DOJ, who had all the evidence and did nothing. Why? Because Epstein was useful. Useful to Mossad, useful to the US intelligence community, useful to billionaires, useful to the elite, who depend on secrecy and control. What would happen if the full client list were released? What if the public saw who was protected and who was involved? It would collapse faith in the system. It would unravel alliances. It would show the American people that their government was compromised, not by a foreign enemy, but by its own intelligence apparatus. It would expose the shadow state and its foreign tentacles. Trump will never drain the swamp. He's part of the swamp, owned by the shadow state. The FBI had Epstein's black book and his flight logs as early as 2005. The CIA knew who he was connected to. The DOJ, under both Republican and Democratic administrations, allowed sweetheart deals and sealed indictments. Why? Because if the full extent of Epstein's network and its connections to foreign intelligence, especially Mossad, were exposed, it would shatter public trust in US law enforcement foreign intelligence sharing, especially with Israel. The legitimacy of US elections, policy decisions, and global diplomacy Releasing the full client list wouldn't just implicate celebrities and politicians. It would expose a structural rot, a transnational intelligence web that uses blackmail, media control, and financial manipulation to keep governments compliant. This is not about one pedophile. It's about a global influence operation that thrives in the shadows of state secrecy. In the past, we have worked alongside WikiLeaks, DDoS Secrets, and other independent press entities, some of which shall remain unnamed. Together, we have revealed truths deliberately hidden from the public because we believe transparency is not a privilege, it is a right. Recently, Elon Musk publicly stated that Donald Trump's name appears on the Epstein client list, a claim he would not make lightly. He hinted at insider knowledge acquired during his time working with projects such as Doge and within closed circles of power. We now call upon Elon to follow through, either release the Epstein client list to the public or leak it to us so we may ensure it reaches trusted hands for global dissemination. Hacking was never just about breaching firewalls. At its core, it has always been about exposing hidden truths and stress testing corrupt systems. The system we inhabit today is diseased, poisoned by secrecy, privilege, and power, and it must be dismantled. The time for transparency is now. The world is watching. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.